guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today for you guys is another movie review. It's EPIC Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's the second one if you didn't know that. So yeah, I recorded another thing for this. It was like 8 seconds and the camera fell off the stand. So if I didn't add that, maybe I'll add it in the end. I don't know, it was kind of weird. But yeah, I guess the camera didn't want me talking about this movie. But I want to talk about it. So apparently all 8 of you want to see it, so thank you. If you have not subscribed, please go consider subscribing. It's free, takes a second, helps your boy out. I want to get to 2,000 before I die. I'm 26, so I got, oh, I don't know, a year or two. So, I mean, you know, that would help. But yeah, no, it's the second one. And look, this is a movie that I kind of go left and right on, right? Sometimes I was like, all right, it's good. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Now, there's a lot of I guess discourse online, right? Because Sonic 1 is generally conceived as a good movie, right? Like a really good movie. Knuckles, I haven't, you know, a lot of people hate it. Oh, it's about bowling. I'm 2 episodes into it, and I think it's alright so far. We'll get into that when I review the whole thing. But Sonic 2 is a movie that, you know, on one camp you hear, oh man, it's one of the best video game movies ever, and oh my god, it's incredible, and it's, you know, such an improvement. And then the other camp is like, oh, it's actually really bad, and the wedding is garbage, and why is there a wedding, and the wedding, and I'm like, man, wedding, weird. So when I originally saw this in 2022, that was kind of my thing as well, right? I was like, alright, it was good, I liked it, it was fun, but why is there a wedding? You know what I mean? So upon rewatching this, I was like, okay, let's rewatch it, maybe I'll change my mind. And look, I'm man enough to say when I'm wrong, okay? I don't mind the wedding in this movie. Now let me explain. So basically the whole movie itself is good, right? This is a step up from Sonic 1, okay? Like Sonic 1 is great. You can see my review for what I have to say about why it's so good and the little things I didn't like, but you know, for the most part, it's a pretty basic story in that, you know, it's Sonic and Tom and they're kind of going on an adventure with Maddie's there sometimes and Robotnik's there, right? Like, it's pretty down-to-earth, grounded storytelling with a friggin' hedgehog that can run quick. And then you get to Sonic 2, and they're introducing, you know, Eggman's back, or Robotnik's back. You got Knuckles. You got Tails, who showed up in the very last credit, you know, the end credit scene of Sonic 1, and he was back in this. You've got the Master Emerald, right? You've got all these, you know, lore elements, right? You got more talk about echidnas and just more world building, right? And I think it works so well with, you know, not only Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles and whatever, but it also works with the human characters, because in Sonic 1, you know, they were able to kind of go, okay, you know, here's the world building, here's why Tom and Maddie are good characters, and here's why they're important, etc. So that when, you know, stuff literally goes crazy in this film, and it does, I kind of forgot half this movie, to be honest, and it's kind of like, wow, okay, this is a really, like, it feels like a big Marvel movie. You know what I mean? Jeff Fowler, apparently the director, well, he is the director. Apparently he is like a CGI guy as well, like a visual effects type of person. So he, you know, he's able to kind of understand, you know, with cinematography, with how shots are made, how to do certain things. And yeah, man, he freaking killed it, like straight up. Like the shots in this are beautiful. The first movie looked great. This movie looks really, really good as well. I think there's some really good CGI effects. You wouldn't think that a Sonic the Hedgehog live-action movie wouldn't look better than, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks or Yogi Bear or Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, you know what I mean? But it genuinely, like, this movie looks better than half of the Marvel shit they're putting out in recent years, and it's really boggling my mind, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say it has no right to look this good, because Sonic is a beloved franchise, and it's well worth your time to watch the shows, the movies, to play the games, but at the same time, you just wouldn't expect it, you know what I mean? And it really looks fantastic. Again, the actors are great. Obviously, everyone who's returning from the first film is in this as well. Wade's in it a little bit, you know, Agent Stone. I keep forgetting his out. I keep wanting to say Dr. Pershing from Star Wars, but Agent Stone is in this, acting a little sus, I'm not going to lie at times. You get Robotnik, who's great. Again, you know, Jim Carrey is really good. Of course, he's, you know, the bald, big muscle. He's not fat yet. Maybe that'll be in Sonic 3. I guess he's got a little bit of a gut in the trailer, but we'll have to see how that kind of turns out. And then, of course, you know, Sonic is great. Ben Schwartz, Tom, Maddie, Tails is good. Tails, the voice actor, whatever, from the games, is, even though Tails is a dude, and Sonic and Tails are really good friends, he is voiced by a girl. That happens all the time in anime, so it's not like a woke thing or nothing, it is what it is. Ninjago did the same thing for a while with Lloyd, but, you know, and then you get Knuckles, of course, played by Idris Elba, which is weird, because I keep hearing Bloodspot, or Bloodshort, whatever, from DC, so, you know, he's good as Knuckles, and yeah, I mean, you know, the voice cast and the cast themselves, they do a great job. CGI's great. And we got to get to the story, okay? So it basically kind of starts where, Sonic is basically kind of adjusting to life and all that, and Knuckles kind of finds, Robotnik on that mushroom planet, and he kind of wants revenge on Sonic, and, for kind of disrupting peace with the echidnas and all that. He's a warrior, right? And his sole purpose is to protect the Master Emerald. And of course, Eggman Robotnik hears that. He's like, oh, well, I want infinite power. Let's do that. It'll be fun. So he kind of, goes on this little adventure with them and all that. So on one camp, you get Knuckles and Robotnik kind of teaming up and doing evil things, trying to get this emerald before ultimately getting betrayed. And then you have Sonic and Tails trying to go on their own journey to find this emerald and kind of stop Knuckles and Eggman Robotnik from doing all the crazy stuff. And then you get the C plot, if you will, with the whole wedding thing with Tom and Maddie. Now look, we gotta get the elephant out of the room. I love this film. Okay, I think it genuinely is an improvement over the first. I love the CGI. I love the fighting. The action scenes are incredible. The set pieces are phenomenal. The third act is effing insane. I remember like the Death Egg or the big Eggman Robotnik robot in the end, but I kind of forgot a lot about it. In a lot of ways. I just remember that big robot and of course Supersonic. But it was really cool to rewatch that and go, wow, it was it's cool. Like I forgot like 90% of the movie, but I didn't forget the wedding. So let's talk on that. So this originally was a negative because I felt, okay, I get it, right? You need to have the human characters do something because Tom and Maddie, they're not going on the adventure. So what do you have them do, right? But how do you also avoid the Alvin and the Chipmunk scenario where it's just random bullshit for 2 hours and no one cares because, it's like the main critique of the Monsterverse, skip the human crap, we don't care, show us the fighting. But in actuality, 90% of the time, the human stuff in the Monsterverse is actually like good and vital and important to the narrative. Otherwise, it's just smacking two action figures together for 2 hours straight. I guess that's fun for a fetus, but for people with brains who like quality storytelling, you need that, right? And you also kind of get that here with Sonic 2 as well. But they're also not just there to, pad out the runtime and go, oh, look what Tom and Maddie are doing, while, Sonic and Tails are doing the good stuff. Like, no, the wedding stuff does, obviously have a purpose, right? Obviously, yes, you need Tom and Maddie to do something. And Rachel, whatever her name is, who's getting married. But there is comedy in that, right, with the dude who's marrying the girl, and it turns out he's a spy working for Gunn, which is, of course, a pretty shady and organization to kind of do certain things. Don't clip that. And with that, you get a bunch of crazy action scenes with, Gunn, and with these betrayals and all that at the wedding. So yeah, I get it. At first glance, I was like, all right, this is kind of, what's the point, right? Now, granted, I care about Tom and Maddie as characters, right? I think they're well written. I think, they're endearing, and I care about them as characters. So it's interesting to see them in this, right? Like, I get it. This Sonic world, it's not like the games in a sense where it's just crazy lore and action and, like, this is a real world environment with real things happening, with real people in it, with the Sonic things in it, right? That's kind of how I best describe it. And with that, I care about the wedding, I guess, and now I'm just gonna call her Rachel. Rachel in the first movie was kind of an asshole toward Tom. I didn't like her character at all. She's like, oh, why are you marrying him? Why should divorce? You two are horrible together. And I was just like, all right, you're funny, but you're a very unlikable character. I'm glad you're tied to a freaking chair. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the point. But she was very poorly written in the fact that I don't care about you as a character. You're funny, but I don't care. And in this one, she's like instantly like, oh yeah, you better not F up my wedding, Tom, but hey, let's bury the hatchet and be buddies. And I was like, I forgot that. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool. I'm glad that, we're able to see some character growth. And obviously with the betrayal and all that, and Sonic with the ring and the snow avalanche that eventually lands through the ring portal or whatever, you see, the bride, Rachel, whatever, get pissed. And she is, kind of going on this, someone said online that it's like a Tyler Perry sketch, I guess, you know what I mean? But it is genuinely funny to see her get mad and completely wreck the Gun agents and the Gun people, I guess, the bad guys. And it's interesting to see the Olive Garden guy, kind of turn as well. So, I remembered the wedding being completely of a waste of time, and it's just something for Tom and Maddie to go to and random hijinks. But I genuinely forgot the fact that Gunn played a part, and that the Sonic and Tails played a part, and Knuckles, and everything kind of coincided with that. And I thought that the wedding, I remembered it being the third act. I remember it being a very kind of like boring third act. Where I'm like, okay, yeah, it was funny, and like one little thing happened with Gunn and with all that, but okay, that was lame, but I completely effing forgot like 90% of the other parts with, the crazy temple that they go to, the fighting, the entire third act, the actual third act that really happened with, Tom and Maddie in the truck, and it flips, and, Sonic turns into Super Sonic and battles this big friggin' robot, and, when Robotnik gets that Master Emerald power, I mean, the CGI is so good, it feels like it's a Marvel movie, you know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing with the first film. The movie does have talking hedgehogs and echidnas and foxes and whatever, but it is in a grounded, cinematic, real world where there's crazy stuff happening, but because it takes itself seriously, it's rated PG, but it feels like a PG-13 Marvel movie at times. And it's not like, oh, poopy fart jokes. There is a fart joke, but it's funny, so I'll give them that. But, they take the world seriously, and they don't just crap on everything every 5 seconds, and it's not a parody, right? When Robotnik gets all this power and he's disassembling Transformer-style, trains and cars and tanks and Humvees and whatever, it feels dangerous, right? Like, you feel like, oh, shit, something's going to go down. And then that big green boom tube thing shoots up in the sky, and just crazy stuff happens. And, yeah, I mean, it's genuinely an incredible ending. I mean, you get like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles fighting all these robots. They're punching things. It's very energetic. It's very all over the place. Very chaotic, and it feels like a massive blockbuster, and it is. But it feels bigger than, I don't want to say bigger than what it is because it is a big movie. But you know what I mean? Like it's like one of those Endgame, Far From Home, Rise of Skywalker moments where it's like this big climactic battle. And I know it's Sonic. It's not Star Wars or Marvel or DC. But it's still a big effing deal, I mean, it's still a really good thing. And it all really works. Again, upon rewatching this, I enjoyed the wedding stuff. I think that there really wasn't much downtime because you're able to kind of see character development and growth for Tom, Maddie, and, the husband and wife and whatnot, and it's interesting to see that, but then you also get the coincide of the actual plot kind of merging together, which I completely forgot about. But then you also get, I think probably the worst element of this movie, where Sonic and Tails are in this snowstorm and they have to go into this cabin, and they find like a Swedish or a Danish or whatever, Scandinavian something tribe of people, and I get it, right? Sonic and Tails, Sonic could easily just, run really quick and get the map where they gotta go. But again, they'd still be stuck in this big friggin' cabin during a snowstorm. So, in order to not freeze to death, they have to stay in this cabin. I get it. That's the story. I understand. But, with this movie, with the wedding, and, the wedding sometimes does come dangerously close to being boring filler. Thankfully it isn't, but it comes close. And then you also get, all the crazy action and the Master Emerald, and the opening with Sonic thinking he's a hero, and again having a lot of great character growth for that. I mean, there's so much going on in this movie, and it all works for the most part. But then you get to this scene where it's like there's a weird dance-off, and I get it. It's fun. It's pretty early on in the film, so we got a lot more important things and more action to kind of come in the runtime. But this feels like it truly, to me, felt like padding. You know what I mean? And again, I said it before. I get it. They have to. They need to stay in this cabin because it's really bad out. But out of all the things, I get it, right? Dance off. I guess kids will laugh because it's funny. But also, for anyone, for teenagers and adults, it is like I did laugh. It is funny to see a dance off. Like it's fun. Like that's an objectively, universally funny thing. But at the same time, I don't think that was needed in a Sonic movie. And it's also really effing cringy because this really thin, somehow still buff guy is completely effing, but he looks like J.K. Simmons. He's bald. He's got the thing, and it just looks really weird. He's got a picture, a tattoo of himself doing his weird thing. And then the music's whatever, and they're dancing. I get it. It's fun, but it's oddly cringy because he's smiling the whole time and he's shirtless, and it's just really weird to look at a buff shirtless guy for 20 minutes. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's like watching Sonic and then a strip club scene with a bunch of male models. You know what I mean? It's just weird. It's like when you're watching a Deadpool and there's the sex scene and then your mom or your grandma walks in the room. It's kind of awkward. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. It's just I didn't expect a dance-off with a shirtless guy who was just smiling at me. I don't know, it just felt kind of weird. Other than being just out of complete left field, that truly to me, I was literally checking my phone. I'm like, all right, still going, okay. alright, you know, okay. And then obviously, you know, it gets resolved and all that, and they win and whatnot, but I get it, you know, I'm not stupid, it had to happen for plot reasons, but I think that the way they did it, I think could have been a little bit different. That's my only real critique of this film, though. It's not even that bad of a critique. I mean, it's still a fun scene. It's just a little bit corny, and it's just kind of random. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Sonic is a comedy-esque, right? It's not straight-up comedy, but there are funny moments in this franchise, right? It's Sonic. It's not all supposed to be serious, but I feel like that was just a little bit too jokey, too funny, too off-the-wall, random, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, upon rewatch, I actually enjoyed the wedding. I think that's fun enough with the human characters. You know, it isn't just, oh, we got to give them something to do this, you know what I mean? It seems like that, but then I really do like how Sonic and Tails eventually crash the party, and Gun is eventually, you know, kind of working with that, and everyone is basically an agent. You know, and that kind of all leads off to the final act, where, you know, we get all the crazy stuff with Supersonic and all that, and it's really, really awesome. So I think, genuinely speaking, this is a really great sequel. One of the best video game films ever made. Obviously, you know, I'm 2 episodes into the Knuckles show now, and you know, Gun is in that show as well. So it's really cool to kind of, you know, see you know, this universe kind of expand with every show and film, which is great. And I'm assuming it's gonna, you know, be even more with Sonic 3. But yeah, I mean, upon rewatch, man, Sonic 2 is freaking great. It's a really fun time. You know what I mean? Sonic gets some good character development. Tom and Maddie have something to do. You know, I think her name's Rachel, the bride. She does stuff. I like the twist with Gun. I think that the final battle is incredible. You know, I really love how it starts with like a really cool ground assault with the robots, and then it ends with, you know, a really kind of climactic and emotional moment where I think they're all gonna die, and Sonic kind of saves the day. Really badass moment where he just kind of puts his hand out and stops the robot. Really good stuff. Of course, everyone in the world thought Robotnik was either dead or severely effed up, which apparently he was. Obviously, we know now he's not dead because he's in Sonic 3, but it was still cool to, you know, say that, you know, for a little bit we thought he met his demise in Sonic 1. But yeah, I mean, you know, you also get Knuckles, who's great in this as well. You know, very different to the games and to the, you know, many of the shows in a way. You know, I mean, you can't really change Knuckles a whole lot, but I think Idris Elba does a good job bringing that character to life. Of course, Tails is great, as always, as she has been voicing Tails in a lot of stuff in the games and other shows. And yeah, man, like, it all really comes together to build a better, more cohesive world and narrative, while also, you know, maintaining the sense of fun and action. And there's some really great set pieces, phenomenal CGI, great performances, really good voice acting. Again, my only real critique is just that cabin dance. It just kind of feels a little random. Everything else, though, has a purpose, and it's really, really fun, really badass, really great action, really fun, and yeah, man, I'm genuinely excited to keep watching Knuckles, and you know, I know that Knuckles isn't everyone's favorite show, but, you know, like I said, I'm 2 in out of 6, so in a day or 2, hopefully I'll finish that up, and I'll get that review out, and then we'll be tackling Sonic 3. But yeah, like I said, man, this is rare, because, like, I really didn't remember a lot of this movie. You know, like, I was like, okay, I remember certain things, but normally, you know, my mind is like a steel trap with these movies and shit. Like, if I watch, or if, you know, if I like something, whether that's Marvel, Star Wars, Lego, SpongeBob, whatever, I know everything about it. Like, that's just how I am. I like to know as much as I can about things I like. And I love Sonic. So it's really effing weird. I guess I got, like, mind wiped or something, you know, something after the movie, because I barely remembered half of it. You know, I remember little bits and pieces, but to see how they all actually connected in the end again was really effing cool. And again, I enjoyed the fight scenes, basically everything, man. I really enjoyed that they're also giving Sonic that arc where he thinks, you know, oh, I'm not a hero, and he kind of has the reverse of what Tom did in the first film, which is actually kind of cool as well. So yeah, I think, you know, really good writing and really good acting. I mean, you know, the directors and the people that work on this film and this franchise really care about this character, and they want to do it justice, and I think they really kind of nailed it. So yeah, Sonic 2, man, is great. I'm going to give it an A, same as the first one. I know I didn't rate the first one in the video, but they're both going to get an A so far. Very solid films, and I can't wait to watch Sonic 3 and finish up the Knuckles show, and then we're going to go back to the MCU. I might, you know, watch something for myself just for a day or 2 first, you know, but yeah, we're going to be getting into that really, really soon. So yeah, thank you guys for watching my Sonic 2 review. Tell me down below in the comments what you think about this one. What's your favorite so far, Sonic 1 and 2? Don't ruin the Knuckles show. Don't spoil it in the comments. I have not finished it yet. And also, if you have, for some weird reason, seen Sonic 3 early, and even when it's out, you know what I mean, don't go spoiling it. Shadow's going to come and get you, shoot you with his plasma rifle or whatever he's got. Yeah, I'm excited to go see this movie. And yeah, man, Sonic 2 is a blast from start to finish for the most part. I really love it. It's a really great sequel and a heck of a lot of fun. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Left and right on